This is what you do. You get an infrared lamp and you put it in your brood box. You know why?
'Cause it's cold out there.
It's cold out there every day. Oh, well, here's the report. The National Weather Service is calling for a big blizzard thing.
Yeah, all frozen over. It's been cold. Big chunk of ice. Pretty solid. And this is in the tool shed. Okay, there you go. Let's beating down on the brood box so that in there stays kind of warm, and then the perch part will stay kind of warm. It's kind of a nice compromise when it's as cold as it's been. And then I'm going to change the timer there so that it'll be reflecting when it gets down below freezing. So at about 7 o'clock tonight, it's supposed to get dropping back down to 28 degrees and then down to the 20s until about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. For now, we're just going to turn this off. There you go. It's plenty warm. Is it warm enough for you? Yeah, you're out active. Okay, you can go out there and play if you want. Happy Christmas! Merry New Year!
Merry New Year!
In this country, we say Happy New Year.
I don't know when you're watching this, but we just had Christmas. New Year's is coming, and boy, that Texas blast freeze, I don't know what they're calling it.
Bomb cyclone or bombogenesis?
It got cold, man. It got down to below 10 degrees on one of those days, and 10 degrees for a couple of days, and it was chilly. And I want to show you a few ways that you can keep yourself warm in the event that the power went out. Now, we were fortunate in our area. Power didn't go out. None of that happened like that did back in, what was that, February 2021. A lot of power outages. I think Texas was on alert and said, you know what, that's not going to happen again. And for the most part, it didn't. I know there were a few pockets here and there that had some power outage. And that's why I got to thinking, if the power goes out and we're mostly electricity and you can't generate heat, how can you keep warm, maybe boil some water? How can you do that when you don't have any power? So in a few minutes, I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've come up with that hopefully will help you in the event of needing to have an emergency source of heat. But in the meantime, I want you to see something. We just had some tile put in. This was a fiberglass surround, and it had some cracks in it, and it was showing some age. It's probably, I don't know. It was 15 years old, so had a crack. It had a crack building up like right down inside of there somewhere. And there was stuff happening, around the thing there. So we had all that pulled out, put in some tile. No, I didn't put the tile in myself. No, I did not do plumbing. I do not like plumbing. I had a guy come in. If you're interested and you live in the Central Texas area, I can recommend him. He was very, very good. Leave me a comment down below, and I will be happy to pass on his information. And then they put in the tile because, hey, they were here. They put in that tub. It's a steel tub. We bought all of the stuff, and he basically ripped out the old stuff, put in the new stuff here, and now what's left is we got to paint the walls. As you can see, my lovely wife has been trying to figure out what color do we want to do it. What do you think? Should it be that kind of an aqua-ish color? Should it be the lighter one? Should we just stick with this neutral background? We're going to keep the same tile, but today I gotta take the door fronts off because this is in bad need. Let me see if I can get close to here. I probably can't. Yeah, you see, it's in sore need. All right, now this is kind of the way it was when we moved in, and we didn't do a whole bunch with it. So we're going to kind of fix all that, get all that repainted. We're going to buff this out. I think we're going to change up what we do with that mirror. And then we'll have a nice little bathroom, and I'll show you when it's all done. But in the meantime, I got to get those doors off. Yeah, that's going to take a while.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, all the doors are off. There you go. Drawer fronts are off. There's that over there. And now it's time to take all this stuff outside and go play with fire.
2 very boring minutes later.
All right, they're over here. Now it's time to play with fire. I'm going to show you, because it's been so cold.
Flights grounded in Dallas and Austin. Crews rushing to remove snow and ice.
And I know a lot of us out here aren't prepared always for cold. I'm going to show you some real easy steps.
That was easy.
To staying warm in an emergency if the power should go out and it's like 0 degrees or below, because we've had some cold temperatures, like I said. And as I'm doing this, the wind is starting to blow. It's coming from the south and it's warming up. So by the time New Year's Day comes along, it's probably going to be in the 70s. But I'm pretty certain that come February, it's probably going to dip down again. We'll probably get another Arctic blast. Mark my words. Mark this on the calendar, folks. We'll probably get another Arctic blast, and it'll drop down at least below freezing somewhere for a few days. And there are going to be some that may be hurting for some heat because, gosh, when sweater weather is 70 degrees for you, as it is for many down here in Texas, when it gets down as low as it's been, and you're without power, you're probably going to stay warm. Now, these are some simple things that you can just go to the grocery store if you can and pick up. And they are, go to Amazon, buy a 9-volt battery, some steel wool, a bottle of isopropyl alcohol, and I'm sure many of you will eat Progresso soup. And I got this can from another episode I'm putting together, so you'll want to stay tuned to find out where this came from. And if you have a dryer, you're going to be able to get some dryer lint. If you use a dryer sheet like this, grab that and wrap your dryer lint in the dryer sheet. Or if you don't, just get a common Kleenex. I'm going to take you down here and we're going to show you how we're going to get a nice warm fire that's safe, relatively safe, and warm. And it'll last a long time. Okay, now some of you may be a little nervous playing with fire or using fire in some way, shape, or form. So I would recommend you acclimate yourself to using fire as a tool. Go outside and do this experiment before it gets freezing cold so that you can go, oh yeah, I know what this is like, I know what to expect. And in a pinch, if you have a fireplace or a stove, a metal stove, like a wood burner, you could do it there inside the house and it's still relatively safe. I do not recommend you taking a kerosene heater, closing up all the doors and striking that up because one, kerosene gives off fumes that are not going to be all that healthy for you if you're closed in. And it creates carbon monoxide, which is not good. And also, it'll use up oxygen fairly quickly if you're in a small space and you need the oxygen to breathe. And so does the fire. So you're going to get oxygen deprivation plus carbon monoxide poisoning. Try to stay away from that kind of stuff. This little thing here has very limited, very small risk of carbon monoxide poisoning and or oxygen deprivation. So this is relatively safe if done in a well-ventilated area. That's going to be key. All right? Let me show you something. Go to Amazon, use one of my links, grab yourself some 9-volt batteries if you don't have some already. Grab a little bit of steel wool. You can get that at the steel wool department at your grocery store. Now watch what happens when I apply this battery. Look at that. It just starts a fire. And this is kind of a dead battery too. Maybe I had to get a little better battery. But you see how it's doing the fire thing? It did get kind of warm. Take your Progressive soup Not sponsored, but hey, Progresso, if you want to sponsor a video, I'd be more than willing to eat some soup and talk about your soup because I like this stuff, man. I really, really do. So have a can, get your alcohol. I'm going to just straight away pour a little bit of alcohol inside in there. And all I did was I put maybe, there you go. That's probably 3-4 tablespoons. Get that clear out of the way. 3 or 4 tablespoons of rubbing alcohol. 90% if you can get it. This is 91%. So if you can get 90% or better, don't get the 70% because, well, it's just not enough. Dryer lint. I collect dryer lint. I'm sure if you have a dryer, hopefully if you clean out your dryer, you'll have some dryer lint. Wrap it in a dryer cloth, or even better, if you don't have that, or just as good, I should say, wrap it in a Kleenex, shove it down in there, and let it absorb. Okay? Just like that. It's down inside. It's absorbing the alcohol. It pretty much sucked it all up. I mean, it's soaking wet. There's very little at the bottom now because it's all absorbed. This will not store very well unless you put some sort of lid on it, maybe a zip, put it all in a Ziploc bag or some plastic over it and seal it with a rubber band so that the alcohol just doesn't evaporate all out, because that's going to be kind of a thing you're going to want to be careful with. Take some more steel wool. Okay, you don't even need a match. I mean, if you're matchless, come on now. If you're matchless, this is going to be very, very helpful. And there you go. And we're going to time this thing to see how long it's, should we put this? Where do we put this? Let's put this there. I'll put this here. We'll even put the little battery behind it somehow. And we'll hit start. And then we'll come back in just a few moments. Okay, we're at about 43, 44, 45 seconds. There is a considerable amount of heat. I mean, I can feel it with my hands out over here. Is the tin can or the metal can. Down here, it's not hot at all, but as it gets up a little higher, it's going to be warmer. So let's let that burn. We'll come back and we'll see how long, about 3 tablespoons of alcohol and then dryer lint and of course a little bit of steel wool that's still stuck in there. Let's see how long it takes. Still at 2 minutes. Still going strong. Paper is getting a little bit charred there, so maybe you want to get that paper off of there. But I don't think it's going to actually combust. And we're at 4.5 minutes, and it's still going strong. And if you look down inside of there, you can see that the Kleenex is still white. It's not even charred, only the edges. It's because of all the evaporating alcohol that's burning before anything else gets burnt. It's a very hot flame. Yeah, and quite a bit of heat coming off still, especially up here. Nice and warm. Oh my gosh, nice and toasty. I mean, you can get around this little campfire here and be in pretty good shape. Can you hear the fire? Listen, shh. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. It does not smell very good right now, and I think that's because inside this can was a little bit of a plastic coating, and that's burning off. So I do smell a little bit of plastic. But other than that, nice and warm. All out here, nice and warm. And the Kleenex is still white. That alcohol is going to burn for a very long time, especially about 3 tablespoons. There you go, 7.5 minutes. Still going, still going. All right, I'll let this go. I'm going to turn the lights out and we'll come back later. Oh, do not ever leave a burning flyer unattended. I'm just going to stay right here with the lights out. Almost 9 minutes. Still going strong. While we're just sitting there waiting, I just want to be able to say thank you to all of you that stuck with me throughout the year. It's been wonderful. 2022, we're getting to the close. This is the last video that I'll be doing until I see you next year. You won't see me until next year. I do appreciate it a lot. Now let's go back and see how the fire's doing. Okay, lights back on. Coming up on 10 minutes. Impressive. It looks like the paper is kind of pulling away. Am I concerned with that? I'm not going to touch it. 12 minutes, 20 seconds coming up. Still going strong. That paper didn't look good though. Alright, that's certainly enough time to boil water or even roast marshmallows or do a little bit of cooking. Now, how am I going to get that out? With this, need a lid that's just a little bit bigger than your incinerator and cover it, just like that. It'll put itself out. Did you see this? And it was still going strong. I think this will work fine. I don't think I want to touch that. Take a pair of pliers, take that off. Yep, it is out. Let's take a look down there. Paper is still white. That means it's still got some alcohol absorbed into it. Steel wool looks pretty good. And ready for reuse. I bet you I could relight this. It's warm, but it's not hot, and it's only been about 30 seconds. Another alternative, if you do have a lighter, you can always there you go. Got started pretty quick. Reusable. I love the sound of this when this thing starts. Oh, that's so nice. Still going. Some of our paper has burnt off here. Yeah, maybe take that off. I think it's going to naturally come off. Just be careful. All right, folks. I want you to catch me on the next video, especially why I have this Progresso can. You're going to want to watch it on this video coming up, and I'll see you over there. God bless you. God bless America. May America bless God.